We got a massive San Diego Padres injury update that we got to talk about. The fate of Luis Arraez, while not entirely clear right now, could change the makeup of this lineup for this season. We got to talk about it and what that means for the Padres. What's going on, everybody? This is Christian Pedersen back with another episode of Padres Digest. This is the part where I just got to interrupt real quick and say, can you hit the subscribe button, please? It would be much appreciated. It would make my bosses happy. Let's talk about the Padres. I'm going to show you a different angle of what happened yesterday to Luis Arraez in the San Diego Padres game at the Houston Astros. And I'm realizing now, always when I say the date on some of these, it's like you could be watching this whenever. But yesterday, as of us recording this, Luis Arraez ends up taking a pretty hefty spill, a collision, a trucking, whatever you want to call it, right here as he collides at first base. I showed you also that initial angle. We'll show it here from both sides. You see he takes a shoulder, elbow, arm, whatever you want to call it, the body, basically the entire momentum of the Astros second baseman to his chin and more or less just drops immediately. Scary scene, terrifying scene. Nothing you want to ever see from any baseball player on your team, your opponent's team, anything like that, but especially something you don't want to see for your guys, for our guys. This is where he, like, it was stretcher off the field, immobilization. It was not good for those of you that missed it. The good news, silver lining that we have right now is, according to Mike Shildt and everybody in the Padres organization, he was entirely cleared of all breaks, fractures, main structural damage to the jaw, the eye socket, everything like that. They have placed him on the 7-day IL, the 7-day concussion IL. So right now, the medical diagnosis for Luis Arraez, out with a concussion, gone for 7 days. You might say, Christian, you're being dramatic and hyperbolic to say that this could change everything. And I might be. Some of my titles and headlines are me in the moment getting caught up going, if we're losing Luis Arraez because he just went limp on a field after getting a hit that like made him look like Tua Tagovailoa, getting knocked out these last couple seasons in the NFL, I am worried. You could also see this and say, 7-day IL. What does that really mean? Why does the 7-day IL worry you? I will split it into two camps. There's a very real chance that what happened there was just kind of what happens with concussions. Guys get knocked out. He was in a ton of pain. The medical staff took every single last precaution they could to make sure that between where he was on the field and getting him diagnosed and checked out in an X-ray, MRI, like doing the doctor thing, which I am not, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night. There is a chance that moving him onto the stretcher and doing that was all just precautions. And he takes his 7 days off, gets his head right. He's feeling good. Back of my mind, and I know that sometimes I pull some obscurities and some names out from throughout baseball history that some of you do or do not know. I start to worry, though, because concussions, and trust me, I'm not veering off onto a soapbox about, like, we got to do better with concussion. Like, it's not an issue in baseball, but just concussions in general, the more we have learned about them, the more we kind of know that an injury that you suffer to your brain does not necessarily heal in the same traditional format as a muscle. So getting a collision right there that turns off the signals to between your brain and your body for a hot second so that you drop and you wind up getting stretchered off the field does not have the same progression back to healthy as, you know, if he had put his hand up or something like that and broken a finger. You x-ray the finger, you go, okay, we've studied broken bones for how many, decades, century plus. Like, we know what we're going to do. It's X number of days. The brain thing to me is just so delicate and confusing and concerning that in the back of my brain, I pull up the comp of Justin Morneau. And I don't want to I'm not trying to put this juju out into the universe. I am a Padres fan. This is a Padres show. I want Luis Arraez back, but I get worried. Justin Morneau, for those of you not baseball addicts for the last 20 years, was a Minnesota Twin and a Colorado Rocky for the duration of his career. And with the Twinkies, he was an absolute ripper. He was tearing the cover off the ball. Then one day, random slide into second base, collides with a knee, hits the ground. And you can read several well-written long-term essays about how he was never the same hitter ever again. Not that it immediately ended his Major League Baseball career, but that Morneau experienced a noticeable decline in his ability to focus on the ball, to hit the ball, to track the ball, just all the intangibles that you need to perform at a high caliber major league level. So Mike Shildt saying that this is a best case scenario thing and that Luis Arraez is healthy-ish, right, in terms of nothing. Like I said, nothing's broken. This is just a concussion. Could be good, but this could also be a question where we have to ask ourselves, are we prepared to play the long game? Are the Padres ready? Because I've had my bell rung a time or two. I'm sure that a large majority of you watching this have had something akin to, if not a concussion. The worst possible things you can do for a concussion: noise, lights, stimulation. It's nice to just sit in a dark room and decompress after one of those. And for a couple of days, for a couple of weeks, for an indeterminate amount of time afterwards. And when I say bright lights, big noises, what is a Major League Baseball game? It is something that 40-something thousand people attend, that is played at night, so you need bright lights to track a little teeny white ball. So all of that to be said, there is a certain amount to me of concern in the back of my brain that what if we reach a point where maybe it's not a whole career drop-off, but say this isn't a 7-day thing. Say that this is just an intermittent thing where occasionally for the next month, the lights are a little bright at night. He's just got a headache. He's just not going to focus. Do we want to run him out there? And drop a comment on this part of it. Let me know what, you can always drop comments on anything. You guys are no lack of opinions on YouTube, but drop a comment in terms of what would you like to see? After 7 days, run him back out there and run the risk of some days he's just not going to be crisp, dialed in, like right where we need. He's not going to be batting champ Luis Arraez quite yet. Or do we need to take the time to get him fully healthy? What does fully healthy even look like post-concussion? Are these symptoms that are going to come and go? Like, does a day game after a night game, is that difficult for him in the next couple of weeks? What is travel like? There's so many details right now that I get worried. And we look at the rest of the roster, and I don't need to dive into too many numbers because this is a 7-day injury, and I don't want to play the infinite amounts of panic game. But with everything else that they've got going on injuries-wise in the infield, with Jake Cronenworth out for at least 3 or 4 more weeks, according to the time of us recording this video, and we'll get videos on him, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. But with Jake Cronenworth out, Xander doing just okay, Manny not ripping the ball exactly at the peak of it, like, we're basically down to one starting infielder left. And that is not a level of depth that I think the Padres are ready to handle exactly at this moment. Jose Iglesias has done a great job filling in for Cronenworth at second. He's fine. We can give Gavin Sheets a bunch more at bats at first base, platoon Connor Joe with him if Mike Shildt really needs to not have Sheets hitting against lefties. I, though, am a huge advocate for Sheets. Go check out the other videos. Holy Sheets. We love him here at this channel. But, like, Tyler Wade, mix him in the middle. Like, or you can see where we're already kind of at that steep drop-off. So what do? Do they need to call up a minor leaguer? Do they need to trade? Do they need to? Right now, they need to not panic. And we need to just play this as a hypothetical. But in the back of fans, teams, management, everybody's brain, you got to just wonder the unknown, the undefined, untangible amount of just like a concussions recovery is just not exact medical science compared to a lot of other injuries. So I will leave it at that, and I will ask you guys, what do you think? Like I said, short-term, long-term, is he coming back? Should we rest him longer? Does this need to just be something where we just feel it out? Who replaces him? Do you want to see Sheets batting, playing, doing all the first basing? Sheets and Connor Joe, Sheets and trade for somebody else, Sheets and put Turso there. I don't like. I just want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think the Padres are going to do. And until then, like I said, we will have all the videos all season long. My motto is I'm just here to ride emotionally shotgun with you through the Padres season's highs and lows. Keep the faith, Padres fans. We're getting closer to the playoffs. We will make it.